All right. Hi, guys. So today we're going to be talking about the almighty, ever-present walk cycle, right? Now, to a lot of people, surprisingly, even to animators that I used to work with who were starting out, the walk cycle is like an intimidating series of drawings that, once they start, they don't know what to do next. I mean, you can go ahead and start from drawing one and then chronologically move on to the second, the third, and fourth, and so on in a straight animation fashion, but you might not be getting the consistency of the sizes or the results that you want. So I just kind of made this really quick guide, which will be confusing at the start, I must admit. But it'll clear up in the end, I hope. Or maybe that's how I get you to rewatch the video. Right, so here we go. The first two drawings I ever start out with are the ones that are just opposites of each other. Those are the first drawings I do because it's the easiest to figure. You know that stock drawing everybody starts out with in a walk cycle, with the arms and the legs at their most extreme stretched out pose? So yeah, you start out with those two first. So I'm just making an opposite version of that first drawing. Copy paste the head, sure, why not? Right? So now you've got your basis, right? And then the next one would be the drawing that is basically the middle bit of them, which is they're pretty much just in betweens, except for the legs and the arms. Well, the arms might be a bit of an in between, you can call it that, but I don't do straight in betweens for the arms. I do a bit of follow through in the arms and the hands, give it a bit of softness. So now you've got the middle bit, and then I just do the opposite of that as well. So now I'm just working on making an opposite version of that drawing in the middle of those first two main keys. So you start out basically with four keys that are pretty much the same height, or exactly the same height in a lot of cases. So you just do that. So now you've got your four keys that are just you going like, hey man, that's really wonky. It's not bouncing or anything. Okay, well, I do the bounces last. I don't work in chronological order, so now is when I start doing the lowest part of the bounce. And after that, the highest part of the bounce. And then the opposites of that. And then you'd be done. Right? It sounds so simple until you start to do it. And it's like, it's amazing how many animators I've met who actually work in the industry who didn't really have any sort of process on how to do this, and they just start with the first drawing, do the next, and do the next, and then the sizes would be inconsistent and all of that. Funny results sometimes, but sometimes that's what you want. There is no hard and fast rule when it comes to animation. It just has to look right. But when it comes to a straight up walk cycle, though, I just came up with a process like this because we were under a quota system and you had to do it fast, and this seemed to be the fastest way to do a walk cycle. You do the opposites. Now you do the highest part of the bounce. Again, I do the upper body first, using whatever drawings I've got as a guide, without really being too concerned with the height. Because then you can, when you're done drawing in the head, the arms, and the upper body, then you can just select everything and then just drag it up. You drag it up to the height you think or you feel like would be enough room for the legs, and then you draw in the legs. And if that was really difficult to figure, you could actually just draw that on a separate level. Draw the upper body on a separate level. Do everything on a separate level. So, if it's giving you a hard time, it's gonna make your life easier. Do everything on a separate level. But it's easy enough to just rough it out, especially in the rough stage when you're doing your guide drawing. So this for me would be the rough stage. I'm not going to clean this up, but it's fast enough to just draw it on one level anyway. And especially the more you get used to it. So now I'm just drawing the opposites, right? This is the opposite of the lowest part of the bounce. And then you just do the opposite of the high bounce, and you put them together in the right chronological order on the X sheet, and you're done. So here we go. Now here's the opposite of the high part. So again, the first two drawings I did are the ones that are the same height, and then the next two drawings I did were the two drawings that have the same height as them, and in between those drawings are the bounces, and that's really all there is to it, you know. So basically, there you go. You've got your walk cycle. You can smoothen that a bit further by adding in-betweens and doing the exposures on ones, if you like. Because right now it's set on 3s, and that's how I usually check out walk cycles. I put it on 3s or 4s. If it's a more realistic walk cycle with, you know, more realistic style, I'll check out the speed of it at a higher frame exposure, even as much as 8 frames per drawing. Like if it's an anime or something like that. Then you tweak that a bit, you know, give it a bubbly head. Some people don't like the bubbly head thing, but I do. So there you go. Yeah, and I hope that helped. And if that was confusing, maybe you might want to rewatch the video and check that out again. Cheers, guys.